Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first ever live episode of Spilling the Tea on GovCon. I'm Teresa Moon, Director of Business Development for Parabolas. We provide a better financial partnership for government contractors that includes a line of credit to fund your growth. We're excited to have you all joining us live on LinkedIn. No need to adjust your monitors because, yes, we are this bright and shiny all the time. If you're new to our show, I hope this conversation will help entice you to join us more often. As a matter of fact, I hope you're thinking to yourself right now, where have you been all my life, Teresa and Chelsea? But why are we here and why do we do what we do? I'm so glad you asked. The purpose of this podcast is to assist small businesses with success in the federal marketplace by introducing them to industry experts and resources that they may not otherwise know about. Today's guest is no stranger to the show. She's my friend and business partner, Chelsea Meggitt, CEO of Collaborative Compositions. Chelsea and I met through the amazing, the one and only godfather of LinkedIn marketing, Mr. Mark Amtower. I owe Mark a huge hug for introducing me to Chelsea. And for those of you who aren't yet familiar with her and her work, you'll soon see why. Welcome, Chelsea.
Thanks, Teresa. I'm stoked to be here.
I'm so excited you're here too, and I'm sorry that we started a few minutes late. Technical difficulties that are unforeseen, and it is the way it is in these days. But nonetheless, we're here and we're excited. And so I want to get started and kickstart things by sharing with our audience, for those who aren't already LinkedIn stalking you like I did before I met you. Can you tell our audience a little bit more about your background in government contracting and about the services that Collaborative Compositions provides, please?
Sure, absolutely. So I am fortunate enough to say that I grew up in government contracting. So my dad worked for Raytheon and my mom worked for Northrop and Lockheed at various times. And they both decided to stop working for those companies and start their own in my house when I was 8. So they promptly sent me skipping around federal facilities, and I started speaking in acronyms, and everyone at school kind of looked at me like I was crazy. I grew up in a very successful woman-owned small business. They laid every subsea cable for the Navy since '99. They installed the wave energy test site at Kaneohe Bay, and every boat barrier that you see around a Navy vessel, that's theirs as well. So I had the experience of understanding all of the bits and pieces that go into developing and growing a small government contractor. So that gave me a lot of experience. And obviously, I got to see the life cycle and go through all of the various phases that the small government contractors go through. I started my company, Collaborative Compositions, in June of 2020. With the purpose of helping small businesses that have moved beyond that PTAC phase and are not yet in that full-time business development staff phase. So having resources that are knowledgeable in the federal sector and knowledgeable in federal acquisition processes has been tremendously helpful for the small businesses I work with. So primarily we provide business development support, pretty much anything from capture through contract management and maintaining the contract life cycle. So small businesses are my cup of tea, and I very much like spilling the tea on GovCon for them.
I love it. And you and I have been able to travel a bit together. And so I've seen you in action, and I love the, firecracker presence that you have. I think we share that in common. And because of that, we wanted to have you on today. The real reason that you're here is not just to share about what you guys can provide to the government contracting community, but also some really exciting news. It's a new brainchild, if you will, that you're currently birthing, and it's in the infantile state. And I am happy to be supporting you on this. We're calling it, or you coined the term, the Collab. So for starters, I'd love you to jump right in and talk to us about what is the Collab.
Sure, absolutely. So I call it the Collab or the Collab because really what it is, and what I envision it being, is an environment for collaboration, a lab, if you will, for collaboration mechanisms. So understanding that social capital is an incredibly valuable asset. It's just underutilized substantially in the government contracting realm. So having access to trusted resources and experts in the field that can help businesses of any stage in any size is going to be tremendously helpful for those that are looking for that type of support. I also envision it will provide an excellent platform and resource basis for folks that are also looking to expand their business portfolios. So, for instance, I've got folks that need financial assistance, and I've got a resource that I can turn to and get them help with that. So having that in network form is tremendously valuable. So I envision this being a tool and a platform by which people can engage and find some trusted resources in the GovCon field.
I mean, that's amazing. And my next step was going to be, why did you launch it? But I think you've gone through that quite a bit. But I think what's super important is that there really isn't anything like this that exists at this time. And you and I have tried to grow this type of outreach organically when we go to events. Hey, we're going to be here. Come and see us on the expo floor, right? And I think that is impactful to a certain extent. But being able to, as you and I have talked about, extending that conversation beyond the exhibit hall, beyond the breakout session, beyond even the happy hour, because it takes it to the next level so that things aren't forgotten, and being able to share both opportunities, but information and resources, because you and I are coming to things from two different perspectives, right? Not only are you providing your clients and prospective clients with access to opportunities by means of contract awards, but you are exposing them to relationships that they might not have prior to linking up with you. And so let's get in a little deeper about why are we doing this? Why are we trying to outreach the way that we are? Because I know that you don't have a lack for business right now. I mean, you're booming and you're everywhere and you're doing all the right things. So it's not to generate more business for collaborative compositions. Why is it that you really sat down and were like, I want to do this?
I love that you brought that up. So thank you. You're in Florida and I'm in Washington State. So we're in two totally different parts of the country. And having noticed the diffusion of resources from the Beltway area from which it's, dispersed, it just is very thin and very spread poorly when we get out here. So there's just not access to resources, information, or skills and expertise that might be accessible to folks that are in Virginia, for instance, right, or in Florida, for instance. So having the ability to spread resources equitably across the country is incredibly important to me, and it's incredibly important to the government as well. I mean, their small business strategy report is all about bringing, some equitable resource dispersion and access to information and all types of skill sets and types of programs and types of resources. Because, for instance, small businesses might not know anything other than the SBIR program as an entryway. Right. I mean, they might not know that there's, a variety of other means to sell the government that doesn't require, research and development, for instance. So just having access to a place where you can find information like that and find resources that are skilled and that are knowledgeable in those specific areas is really helpful. So, I mean, for me, I feel like I open doors to folks every day. I might say non-traditional acquisition, and they're like, what on earth is that? And I'm like, it just really makes you realize that how little exposure there is to other resources, other options, and other opportunities that are available. So that kind of was my primary goal in wanting to make it fair and equitable for small businesses throughout the country to access resources that have the knowledge and the skill sets that they need.
And it's so important. I mean, I say often, and of course, I'm not speaking out of turn. I always credit my CEO for being the one that chats about this with businesses from his own experience. But the majority of CEOs and business leaders are functional operators. So they know really well what their niche is. But even if they had done this and have past performance in the commercial market, it doesn't translate into the federal marketplace the way that they expect. And there is a navigation process that they need to understand. And that's why linking up with businesses like yours is so important, because even though business development goes hand in hand with really truly understanding the proficiencies that you do well, it is understanding who your buyer is and how to approach them and when to approach them and how to find the opportunities as they come about before it's too late. And then understanding how to connect all of the dots of the capture process after that as well. It really desires a building of a team that isn't just, hey, this is what we do and we're the best at it. I've seen so many people, in an exhibit room floor go up to a large prime or a government agency and just not know how to present it in the way that it needs to be done. I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir to most of the people who are listening, and especially to you. Federal government does things in a certain way. And even though the technologies and the proficiencies are changing and elevating, their processes are not. And so if you are trying to reinvent yourself and be flashy, I mean, Lord knows I love flashy. I'm not sitting here with all these colors around me because I want to be black and white, right? But it isn't the way that business is done in the federal marketplace. And so there really is a lot that needs to be overcome as far as hurdles, barriers to entry, if you will, that need to be understood. And that's why in the beginning, especially when you're getting out of those PTACs, linking up with someone like you to actually give them the groundwork and set up relationships that will create an environment of a groundswell for more opportunities for them is important. So what I love the most about how this is going to, and we're going to move into how it's going to help businesses even beyond what you've already spoken about, how is this collab not only going to be an intersection of resources via service providers like Parabolis or any of the other partners that we're going to be bringing in, but also building an ecosystem that at the core of it is opportunities to grow in the marketplace, right? Small businesses aren't getting the level of opportunity that they're hearing they are. The same businesses tend to get, turnover with the same types of opportunities. And so you're trying to prohibit that from continuing on and open up the marketplace to newer small businesses that might not be new, period, but they're new to the federal marketplace and they need to know how to market themselves properly in order to get it right in front of the right opportunities for them. So let's chat a bit about how it's going to help the businesses, particularly say for the ones that you're working with currently right now. How are you envisioning that?
So I envision this being a basically option full of resources. Having the ability to pull in all of those dots, as you mentioned, teaming partners, the right platforms to, that are scaled to fit, your business size, that are going to be appropriate, not going straight into the, Deltec GovWin. I love it. It's great, but it's just quite expensive for small businesses, and having the people there that will be honest with you and tell you that aren't out to game you. I think having the trusted social capital network is such a valuable thing that's so underutilized and underappreciated in the government market. I mean, you'll hear it all the time. It's who you know. Mm-hmm. It's still a relationship game, right? So having access to those people and those groups that you can build those relationships with is essentially my primary idea of help. And then ultimately, what this will do is as we bring in resource partners, it will allow them to open doors and options for all of our clients. So, we're not just saying I'm just business development. That's all I can do. So if, you need something else, go find somebody else and go build that trusted relationship on your own. That takes time. It takes energy. It takes, a lot of effort that is just generally it doesn't have to be that hard, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, having the ability to facilitate some of those conversations and those entryways, those relationships is just entirely key. So I see that being the upside, and then I see it having a benefit on the other end too. So the folks that are, there's folks that'll pay for things that are free, right? And they just don't understand that there's, availability of things out there that are, and I think everybody's gotten that call after you register in SAM. It's like, hey, you're expiring now, come pay $2,000. It's like, you need somebody in your life to tell you those things are not right and not okay, because, we're saving you time, effort, money, and headache after having to deal with, some of the cottage industry, more scammy groups. So being able to guide folks away from that cottage industry, if you will, is also very helpful. I see this being a tool of available people and groups and platforms. So service providers, platform providers, variety of like legal, I'm envisioning financial, I'm envisioning contracts, I'm envisioning academia, I'm envisioning like nonprofits coming in as well, because we want to have the ability to provide resources and access to those. If you're a new government contractor, do you know about NDIA? Like, if you're not in defense, you don't need to know about NDIA, but you need to know about probably some of these other groups that are, actually, in your
directed at what you're doing.
Right.
We say that all the time. Join an organization and form your village, because sharing information among industry experts in the field of work that you do can provide you a lot of information to save you from some heartache and some sleepless nights, because you didn't know what you were doing and you're expending a lot of energy and money, going after contracts that aren't a good fit for you. Costs money. Throwing spaghetti up against the wall costs money, and it's not really a beneficial business activity for you. So maybe if we all got together and had this network of intertwining businesses and resources and opportunity, it would save you a lot of headache and a lot of money, because no one else is doing it. And that's why I love it so much. And I know that this is new, and I know that, you and I, we didn't chat about it for very long before we both were like, holy cow, we have to get this out immediately, because people are really going to latch onto this. And so I know that, like I said, it's still in the infantile process, but we're getting ready to push it out. Parabolis is proud to sponsor and support along the way. And you and I are going to take it on the road as often as possible this year to get people to kind of join in and buy into the process. So what's next for the collab?
So essentially, we're starting with featured partners, right? We want to make sure that people understand what resources are available to them, and, and provide them a platform, and provide those groups that we're featuring a platform as well to be advertised for our partners. We're going to host in-person events. We're going to host lunch and learns. It's going to be a fireside chat sort of environment where we can host some, educational experiences. We'll look to do some matchmaking, some teaming mixers, and we'll really get folks involved to get them aware of who and where and why they need to go, in the variety of areas that they have their pathways, if you will, in government contracting. So ultimately, I envision the collab being a spot for folks that are literally looking to collaborate with other government contracting knowledge-based individuals. So if you're a government contractor, if you're a large prime, we welcome you. If you're, a small business, if you're a resource provider, if you are a manufacturer, we welcome you. This is really a experience where it will show that there is incredible value from the 1 to 1 equals 4, equation.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, and I love a good fireside chat. I'll bring the fire. But what I like is that it's doors wide open, right? Everyone's welcome. It isn't one of those, stereotypical good old boys club. And if you don't have a membership card, you can't get in. We're going to share with you what the password is to entry. And so it's not going to be
free.
A secret. Yeah.
It's free. Like there's no fee here. Really what we're doing is trying to get folks, trying to make resources and information available to folks, not keep it behind a paywall, not keep it behind, a sort of pay to play scheme, if you will. Really it's, if you need a resource, we want to make sure that we've got it available for you.
Right. And you're going to have options. We're not going to steamroll people that are in the same industry that they can't stand next to each other. That's the beauty of an evergreen opportunity like federal contracting, is that there's enough business for all of us, man. And I love a good competition. I'll arm wrestle anyone, anytime. It doesn't matter. However, I also understand that it's up to you as a business leader to choose who's right for you. And of course, I hope that they're choosing wisely. However, I'm not afraid of someone that's within my industry standing next to me at a meeting and talking about similar concepts that our company is putting forth. It's all about options and not raking people over the coals, just to provide them with a little bit of insight into the different expertises that are going to be available to them through this this ecosystem. I've referred to it as a consortium, but I think it's different than that. I think it's bigger than that even. And so we're going to take this on the road, you and I together. I want you to share with the audience as we're wrapping up some of the places you're going to be over the next year so that they can get more information and, where can they find you?
Absolutely. So I've got a variety of presentations going on. Tomorrow, actually, I am at Women in Technology doing an Accelerate Her presentation on getting the value out of social networking. So finding that actual, capital and value out of those events you go to. I'll be in Hawaii for the Hawaiian Natives Association organization conference, and I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Hub Zone, we're going to hit up the Hub Zone conference. In between there, somewhere, we're going to be in, Ohio for the Hypersonics Innovation event. Looking to AUSA again as well. So, it's a big year and we're really looking forward to getting out there. Definitely keep your eyes posted. There will be collab events where I might not necessarily be. So we will be publishing those. We'll be definitely getting them out there and making sure that folks are aware of, where the collab will be, where you can find a collab near you and how you can engage with folks that you're looking to collaborate with. So really looking forward to it.
Me too, man. I mean, I'm excited to be along for the ride. I'll ride your coattails. I have no problem with that. You're one of the smartest people I know and very educated on the navigational process and government contracting. And so I think this is going to be a great opportunity for everyone to really learn and grow and build some solid success. And so I'm super excited. And so for those of you who haven't already connected with Chelsea on LinkedIn, I encourage you to do so. If you're not connected with me either, please do so, because we will be sharing out information of some of these events that are coming out. And make sure that you come and see us at some of the conferences where we'll be attending, because we can keep you in the loop. That's what it's all about. It's all being in the loop and knowing where to go and who you need to get in front of. And I'm excited to be a part of it. So if you have any questions or you want more information, reach out to us so we can get you what you need. As we get closer to the final unveiling of Chelsea's new idea here, the collab, we'll be happy to keep you in the loop so you can join us. And I would love it if you all stay tuned for all of our upcoming podcasts being brought to you every other Monday on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and on our very own YouTube channel by the same name. There you can see our archives of all of our previous episodes, so you never miss a beat. We have loved having you join us and hope to see you next time, as we're going to continue the live streaming to keep you informed of upcoming events with the collab. Thank you again, Chelsea, for joining me. I appreciate your time.
And thanks, Parabolas, for all your support. Love working with you guys.
Well, consider it continuing on, because we love working with you too. We can't wait to have you back again soon. Thank you all for joining us in your lunch hour. I'm Teresa Moon, and this is Spilling the Tea on GovCon. Have a great day.
See y'all.